Design thinking, simply put, is a human-centered approach to problem solving. A client can come to you today and give you a mandate that I need a web application built or I need a website built. But as designers or as developers, right, we are building solutions for human beings. And there is merit in actually understanding this human being before you build a solution for him, right? So design thinking, while it is a problem-solving approach, oftentimes, because of the insights you get from this process, you also stumble upon small innovations, right? Now, I was talking about how companies in the offline world have also adopted this methodology, right? Pepsi has been one of the biggest proponents of design thinking. We all know Indra Nooyi. She's actually changed the very structure and fabric of her company. I think sometime last year, they brought in a designer. Never happened for Pepsi, right? The only designers they had on their team were the ones who were designing their labels and their packaging. But that's not design thinking, really, right? So she got in a designer. They had a whole team. She told all her top managerial personnel that you got to adopt design thinking. She gave them 6 months to actually switch their leadership methods. And if they didn't, she actually asked them to leave. That's how stringent she was about adopting design thinking. And there's a great podcast. There's an interview that the Harvard Business School is having with her on this particular topic. And I like this snippet especially, which I'm going to play for you guys.
We are working on design of products for women right now. Okay. In the past, in snacks, we just say, hey, Doritos, we'd put it in a pink Susan G. Komen bag and say that's for women. Okay. That's okay. Women interact with products that are for Susan G. Komen. But you know, men, when the bag is depleted, you pour the snack into your mouth. You know, typical guy does that. Women don't do that. Women worry a lot about how much stain you have from the product because you can't rub it on a chair, which a lot of guys do. So in China, what they've got is they have a stacked chip that's on a tray. It's in the drawer. So when women want to eat it, they open the drawer and they pull the little tray out of the container. And when you eat it, it doesn't give louder crunch because women don't like other people to know they're crunching away. And it's very delicate, okay? Because it's on a tray, when you finish with it, you push it back in and it's done. It's put away very neatly.
About changing the design of a particular product called Doritos. And the insight she's sharing is that men eat this product differently, women eat it differently. But we don't think about these different user behaviors in our daily work, right? And that's what I want to do today. I want to spend some time on, we already touched upon this. So we're not just building technology, right? We're building solutions for human beings. So we're going to, spend some time on actually learning how to do this. You don't need to be a creative genius to do these things. There is a process, a practice that you can imbibe and apply it to your daily work. There are many forms in which design thinking is taught, but how I like Stanford's methodology the best. In fact, in some sense, they are the ones who actually pioneered design thinking as a formal, teachable science or methodology. David Kelly and Tim Brown were the two people who actually coined this term, and David Kelly actually went on to formalize this as a course at Stanford, right? And this is the process that Stanford teaches, okay? Empathize with your user, define the problem, ideate a wide variety of possible solutions, prototype, which helps you visualize your ideas, and finally test, right? So we're going to go through each step one by one and really understand it. Empathize, right? Now, empathizing is the center point of design thinking, right? Any solution, as long as you're building it for a human being, you need to empathize with that user, right? So empathizing actually helps you fully understand these people, their functional as well as their emotional needs when they're interacting with products. What is really meaningful to them, right? So the best solutions actually come from the best insights of human behavior. If you look at a lot of products that we use day in and day out, they are actually delightful because they have tapped into a very useful human behavior insight. And that's what makes them effective products, right? So that's the first step, empathize. How do you do empathy, right? Very simple. You observe the user in the context or in the environment in which he's functioning and actually, doing a particular task that you're interested in. You can speak to them about it. Interviewing is, well, not the best word, but I would rather call it engaging. You really get deep into who this person is, what are his values. Sometimes people don't even articulate what they really think and feel, It's more from watching them do what they do that you really understand and get insights. Sometimes people say something and actually do something else, So as a design thinker, it is key that you gain insights, right? You don't just listen to what your user is saying, but actually observe them do something, experience their life and, spend a day in their shoes to really understand who they are. And in fact, Stanford did this, right? They launched this Shadow a Student challenge across the United States, and about 1,200 to 1,500 teachers actually participated. The goal was to understand how to make their education systems better. So the teachers spent an entire day with their students just shadowing them, watching them go from class to class, eating lunch in the cafeteria, the whole experience. And that's how, they fully believe in the power of doing this, right? Now, once you've empathized, you've obviously gained a lot of information, you have different insights, and, you have various thoughts of your own and your own observations. So the step of defining is useful. It's very useful because you're creating a user-centered statement of the problem, right? And it's very aptly said, right? Framing the right problem is the only way to reaching the right solution. If you start wrong, you're going to end wrong. If you start in a place that's not meaningful to your user, or you've, just not defined your problem statement well enough, you're not going to be able to create an effective solution, right? So the step of definition is what actually guides ideation, which is the next step, right? So this step, they basically say that come up with as many ideas as you possibly can. Don't think about whether it's feasible. Don't think about whether it's doable. Defer judgment to your prototyping or testing phase, but just, be creative, come up with ideas. The higher the number of ideas, the more chances of innovation, right? And after that, you go into prototyping. So prototyping is very powerful because it actually helps you visualize those ideas. It is much better to show your client a visual version of the solution rather than describe it to them. We do this every day, right? We create wireframes. We show our customers how we envision their website to be or how their mobile app will flow. So visualization is very powerful. The other useful thing about prototyping is that you get to iterate a lot, and you can fail fast and you can fail cheap. You haven't invested development resources behind building a solution, but you've tested multiple ideas just through probably sketching or wireframing or prototyping, right? So it's a great tool to visualize and articulate and as well as learn as well. And the last one is actually testing, right? So taking a final idea out there to your customer, watching them use it, understanding. So this is another opportunity to gain empathy, right? Understand how your customer is interacting with your screens and draw your own insights, go back and refine the solution even more. And I promise you, at the end of this process, you will have a way more meaningful product than you would otherwise.